bluffing on some of these tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. You might have heard the term taco trade. Trump always chickens out. That's what some analysts, some commentators have been using to talk about this. So I asked the president directly, what's his response to that? And he had a long answer. Here's just a piece of it. Take a listen.
It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number.
Kelly, he did not like this question, I can tell you, but he did go on to say that, especially when it comes to the EU and his backing off, temporarily at least, of that 50% tariff threat, he says the EU wouldn't be here today negotiating if it weren't for that. Now, when he makes a deal with them for something much more reasonable, people will say, oh, he was chicken. He says that's so unbelievable. So getting the president's take there on this question of whether he's bluffing too much and is hard to take seriously now on the global stage on these tariff threats. Just a couple of other topics here. I also asked him about TikTok, especially in light of the Nippon-U.S. steel deal and the U.S. government's role in that deal. I asked whether that might be something we see for TikTok as well. He said, no, these are in completely different scenarios, but he does say that the Chinese are difficult to work with. We'll probably have to get China's approval, but he does think that he'll be able to save TikTok and wants to do that. And then finally, he was also asked about Elon Musk's criticism of the spending bill that just passed the House last week. Elon Musk, of course, saying that it undercuts Doge's efforts by not cutting enough spending. The president defending that bill and essentially saying we had to get it through the House, and if they hadn't passed it and if the Senate doesn't ultimately pass it, there will be a huge increase that would be much more harmful in terms of increase in taxes for Americans. Kelly?
Right. Increase in taxes, not necessarily the debt and deficit impact. So taco, Trump always chickens out. That's the phrase?
That's the phrase. It's not widely known yet, but you have seen it pick up in the press this week. It's why I wanted to ask him about it. Wall Street loves an acronym, as you know, Kelly. And the idea here is just, yes, the markets will go down when he makes a threat, only to rebound often even higher once the threat is back off the table. And so far, where we are in sort of this tariff limbo right now, many of, if not most, of the tariff threats that have been leveled so far are not yet in effect. That could be a different story 6 months from now. But the question now being, will other countries still take him seriously and come to the negotiating table if this sort of pattern continues?
Yeah. I hear he called that a nasty question, Megyn.
He sure did. A badge of honor, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Megyn, thanks very much for bringing us that recap. Megyn Casella.